And the very best of luck. Now, he's a troubled teenager with a penchant for trashing things, graves, houses, offices. He's not fussy, but now things for Aaron are about to get a little more confusing.
Did you trash my house because you were trying to get off with Holly?
No.
Oh, you mean because I've got a brain?
Shame it's in your pants, lad.
And I always come prepared, mate. Well, they won't know what hurt them, will it?
Well, there's no love in town. This new century keeps bringing you down.
Listen, me and Aaron are going into town on Thursday. So, be nice and you might be able to come with us.
You got my number, haven't you?
Yes, Aaron.
Well, you want to try using it?
Aaron!
Does it hurt? What the hell do you think you're doing?
Oh, yikes.
Oh, yikes. And Danny Miller, who plays Aaron, joins us now. This is going to get very confusing, isn't it?
It is indeed, yeah. It's already started to get more and more confusing as it's gone on, really, so, yeah.
So this is the last person that we would expect within the village to be confused about his sexuality.
Yep, is Aaron.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So how was that sold to you, pitched as a story?
Well, they basically said, the producer Gavin brought me upstairs and said to me, look, we've sort of come up with a reason as to why we think Aaron is the way he is. He's obviously very nervous around girls, and it's because we kind of think that maybe he could be gay. And obviously I personally think it's a fantastic reason to explain why he's like the way he is and why he's like that around girls. And so, you know, the confusion of his sexuality, you know, gives a good reason why he's like that.
And so this is something that's been bubbling under the surface. It's that inner turmoil, that thing that he's never ever said, never spoken about, probably not really faced himself, in all honesty. And yet at this particular moment there's this car accident and it just bubbles to the surface, it comes out.
Yeah.
And for that split second he lets down his guard.
He does, yeah, and it's kind of quite controversial because there are kids out there and teenagers out there that are suffering with this problem that Aaron's suffering with. And I don't think a soap's ever told the story that we're about to tell. It's sort of a lone path of Aaron sort of self-loathing himself and sort of keeping it in, and rather than the usual coming out, the girlfriend finds up and they split up and that's it. It doesn't sort of happen like that. It happens that he's eating himself up inside the idea that he's gay, and the fact is that he is actually gay. But
it's also for him, it's going to be the beginning of a process of denial. We're going to show a clip in a moment, which is from, I think it's from tomorrow's show, and he's made this move on Adam.
Yeah.
And Adam said, "What the hell are you playing at here?" And so then he's got to wind himself back. He's got to backtrack.
Yeah, he's got to try and sort of convince Adam that it didn't happen, but sort of convince himself in the same process that that didn't happen, that wasn't me, you know, and he's got to do everything he possibly can to sort of to hide the fact that the kiss happened. You know, he attempted to kiss his best friend, and he's got to hide that now.
Here's a clip.
Look, if I made it seem as though I wanted to, well, you know.
Listen, don't start all that again. I thought you were tripping last night.
You tried to run me over.
Well, my fault if you got in the way.
Look, I'm not going to tell anyone, if that's what you're worried about.
You can do what you like, there's nothing to tell.
Yeah, but...
Listen, I don't know what sick fantasies you got going on up in your head, but you need to sort yourself out. We're supposed to be mates, aren't we?
Yeah, we are, but I just...
Well, then you want to start acting like one. Stop freaking me out, it's doing me head in.
Gosh, so he's completely deflecting the situation there, isn't he?
Yeah, well, obviously, you know, he's got to sort of keep it in himself. He doesn't want Adam to know because that he could possibly be gay, because if he does, he's afraid of what people might say if he tells anyone. And although he said, I won't say anything to anybody, he doesn't want to take that opportunity, so...
Well, Adam Thomas, who plays Adam,
Yes.
is your mate.
Yes,
I mean, you
yeah.
flat share.
Yeah, we do.
So,
yeah, we
so
share.
when this story started, you must have thought, "Oh my God, now I'm going to have to kiss my mate."
Yeah. Well, at first, obviously, it was sort of that was the last sort of thing on my mind. But then when we sort of had a discussion about it and thought, you know, you have them things when you sat round of a night and you think, should we do a line run? And then you think, should we be doing the kiss or should we not? Should we not? You know, you don't know whether or not you kind of pushing it. But Adam's very professional and he's you know, he discussed it with me and we came to a conclusion of how we were going to do it and how we wanted to play it. So
I guess what's great about the story is that it is completely unexpected.
yeah.
Of him. It's totally out of character. And as it often is the case, nobody on the outside knows.
Yeah, no, I mean...
The viewers don't,
no,
for sure.
Well, that's true. What we were trying to sort of avoid was any kind of looks that might think, oh, you just looked at him a bit funny then, you know, maybe there's something going on there. We're trying to avoid that as much as we possibly could, and hopefully we've done that. And I think because it's that unexpected, it's that kind of thing that the last person in the village you would think would do that would be Aaron. You know, you go off and you pick somebody else, but I think the most sort of interesting person you could do it with was Aaron. So.
Well, it's I mean, it's, as you've already said, the lots of teenagers will be very confused about sexuality, and this is a different way of approaching it. And with that comes responsibility. I mean, I suppose you're going to have to be very careful about this story.
Yeah, you have to be careful of you know, even stuff like press releases of how you say things, because you don't want to sort of offend any people out there that are gay.
Or make light of it.
Or make light of it. Yeah. And it is a massive responsibility, which I'm honoured to play. You know, and it's just kind of, you know, the people that are going to be watching that have suffered. You know, the sexual confusion are going to sort of relive the path that Aaron's going to go through, and hopefully, if it's the right way we've played it, then
good on you, Danny. It's nice to meet you. That's tonight, of course, at 7 and 8 on ITV1, and thank you very much indeed.
Thank you for having me. Thank you.
Thank you.
Right, that's nearly it for today, apart from Rona Keating's performance. Here's what's on tomorrow.